So, hello, my name is Joseph Sheppard, aka Whitewater. I'm formerly incarcerated. I just came home after 7 years of being in prison. Since I was 21, I'm now 28. I have about 3.5 years in high security and solitary confinement. So I know firsthand what this is right here. I know what it is to know how many bricks exactly are in the cell. I know what it is to count every single crack on the floor and in the wall just to pass time.
Come on now.
I know what it is to be tortured by other humans who have dehumanized me to the point where they see me as a number, an object, or someone that they could just degrade.
Yeah, speak up.
So I'm speaking on behalf of me and everyone that's going through it. I'm speaking on behalf of the families that have to struggle. I've been raised and grew up in Maine Projects, low-income housing. So I'm from an environment where there's nothing but broken households. There's a cycle where most men, minorities, end up in prison. And I just want to make the point before I get into the details about 23-hour lockdown. There's multiple factors that go into the prison system and what's going on, not only in Rhode Island, but in many states. The first thing I need to say is that most of the individuals in prison are from Providence, Pawtucket, and Central Falls. These areas consist of minorities. Most of the people that are working there, correctional officers, wardens, directors, mental health staff, are not from these communities. They are from Narragansett, Warwick, Little Compton, Newport, East Greenwich, communities that are not directly impacted or affected. So, by saying that, not all humans have the proper intentions when they get these occupations. They see us as a number, they see us as a check. So when it comes to our mental rehabilitation, or our rehabilitation in general, is overlooked. A fact is that most of the people incarcerated have diagnosed mental health issues. These mental health issues that have been with them since they was children. And because of the communities they come from, they're not properly treated or given the proper care to handle these situations, and their families. Their families are overlooked, and it has a lot to do with the fact that they're minorities in an environment that consists of broken households. So by saying that, when you're in prison, you're most likely there because you had a mental health breakdown. There was an overlap one day, one moment, where something happened with you mentally and you reacted in a negative way that impacted the environment, the community, or another human being, and you ended up in prison. With that being said, we call these facilities rehabilitation centers. We call them correctional facilities. We are not being corrected in these facilities. We're being dehumanized and degraded.
This is City Hall right here.
We're being tortured. We're being tortured. We're being used as a means to get checks, you know what I'm saying, for individuals that are not directly impacted by this. So, saying that, I've been in high security for about 3 years. I've been in SEG and other buildings for about 6 months altogether. So, when you have a mental health issue and you're in 23-hour lockdown, your mental health issues automatically become exacerbated, if that's the right word to say. So your mental health issues become worsened by being in a traumatic situation like this. Another fact that I want to bring up is that the correctional officers working in this facility, their union has made it to where they don't have to get mental health evaluations. It makes it to where they don't have to take urines. Their union. I say that to say this, they're allowed to do quad shifts. That means 4 8-hour shifts in a row. Take 1 8-hour shift off and then come back to work. So I say that because they also have mental health issues. There's war veterans that work there. There's police officers that work there. So you got mental health, well, individuals that have mental health issues trying to deal with other individuals that have mental health issues. It's kind of an impossible task.
Speak the truth.
So the truth is that correctional officers need to be forced to do at least annual mental health evaluations. They need to be forced to do urines, because I've seen with my own eyes correctional officers take Adderall just to stay up in the facility. These things that they're allowed to do, how they're not getting policed, are the reason why they're able to dehumanize the individuals that are in prison that are supposed to be getting rehabilitated. So being in solitary confinement, my story is this. I am a rare individual. I didn't have a mental health breakdown in high security, but I've been there with people who I've came to high security with on the same day. And by the 60th day, they're unable to have conversations. They've been placed on all type of medication. You know what I'm saying? It's hard when you're in a 23-hour lockdown, you ain't got no one to talk to deal with yourself, to deal with your regrets, to deal with the reason why you're in there.
Let me ask you a question. So you're saying 23, so they get 1 hour out there. It's not 23, 24, it's 23 hours?
It's 1 hour, but it's never 1 hour. You come out from rec 15 minutes late and you go back in 15 minutes early. So they're never really out for a full hour anyway. But the reason is because the COs in there, the directors, the wardens, they go unpoliced. They're their own government. I was placed in high security because I was labeled as a gang member for Maine Projects. Even though I've never been in a gang. I'm just from a low-income housing area. I can't control where my mom can afford to pay rent. But because I was in those low-income housing environments that consist of minorities, I was labeled a gang member, which is also a tactic by the police to where if they say we're gang members, they don't need probable cause. So by that, they eliminate the probable cause excuse and they're allowed to run down on me, my household, my family members, just because I'm from a low-income housing environment. So
It starts with the police.
it starts with the police, but there's multiple factors.
Yeah.
They need to
Let's
rehabilitate
talk
the
about the
community.
judicial system as a whole.
They need to provide mental health education. Not only, see, for the mother that just spoke, she was unaware of the signs. So they need to educate us on the signs, but they also need to provide the proper services outside the prison and inside the prison. You know what I'm saying? Don't just use me as a means to get a check. Use me to make the community a better place. You know what I'm saying? Use
Take
me.
away that money from them.
Take away, defund them. Because like I said, you got correctional officers that are getting $100,000 a year in overtime. Some of them are getting $200,000.
$200,000.
So I say that to say this again. The traumas I had in high security, if we're speaking on specifically 23-hour lockdown, imagine you have a child and that child has a mental breakdown. What are you gonna do? What these people do, the correctional officers, they take these children, because we're all someone's child. You know what I'm saying? We're all someone's child. They take us, and what they do, if we have a mental health breakdown in this cell, what they do is there's a slot in this door right here. They open that slot and they spray a riot-sized mace can in that slot until you almost pass out. So if you continue to have a mental health breakdown after they spray that riot can, they're gonna spray another one. And then when you fall, then they come in a cell 5, 6, 7 deep. They cuff you up, damn near dislocate your shoulder, bruises all on you. They strip you butt naked. They drag you to a shower that they control the water temperature on. It's either too hot or too cold, never just right. Because remember, we're all dehumanized. That the new Jim Crow, that book that was mentioned, I suggest that everyone reads it because it's the truth. So after you have that mental health breakdown and they spray you with two riot-sized mace cans, they bring you to a shower that's either too hot or too cold while you're cuffed. They don't give you no soap. They don't help you wash up. They throw you in the shower, spray you for about 2 minutes, take you and put you in another cell that consists of the same thing. They don't bring you to a mental health counselor. And even when they do, the mental health counselor most likely is not from your community and has built a relationship with the COs, the lieutenants, and the captains. So they don't really care. You gotta understand there's multiple factors that go into this. You know what I'm saying? We need people to understand community relations. So things that I'm suggesting to stop what's going on in high security, to stop what's going on in prison in general, is I'm suggesting that we push forward a bill that would make it to where if you're a Providence police officer, you have to live in Providence. You have to be a member of this community. There's 500 Providence police officers. I guarantee that 500 Providence police officers do not live in Providence. I present that
They're taking
because
the money elsewhere.
Exactly. They're taking money elsewhere, but I present that because most of the individuals that are in prison who are minorities are from Providence, Pawtucket, and Central Falls. I'm trying to build community relations by presenting that bill because two things. If there's 500 Providence police officers and there's one Providence police officer that lives on 500 streets, you're going to reduce crime. I'm going to honestly say that there was a time in my life where I was truly caught up in the streets. I was committing crimes. I was really out here in what we can say I was in the field. I was out here. I was involved in negative things. Me saying that, I would be very, very less likely to commit a crime on the street where I know that there's a police officer. So I present that bill to say that we can reduce crime by having every Providence police officer be an actual member of the community, live in Providence. I say that also because if you're a Providence police officer and you live in Providence, you're going to be less likely to treat me like a number. You're going to be less likely to dehumanize me, all my brothers and sisters. You are not going to harass me and throw me in prison for having a mental health breakdown if you know when you go to the corner store, you got to see my mother. Or when you go to the corner store, your children are going to interact with my children. Become a part of my community. Know how we function, know what we need. But you want to come in my community and just try to wreak havoc. You want to treat me like you got to get your numbers up to get your paycheck. You got to get your numbers up to get a promotion. Stop treating me like a number. Know that I'm a human just like you. You know what I'm saying? Providence Police, there's some over there. I wish that they could just get out the car, come over here and hear this. But I say that we need to present more bills like that to where police can actually become a part of our community because they're the ones that's making the arrest. They're the first step. They're not the first step, meaning that as children, we should be able to get better rehabilitative services and mental health services. But police officers in Providence are the first step in throwing us through this system.
Incarceration.
Exactly. So they're the initial step in incarceration. So they take us, they put us through the system, and then we, having our mental health issues, become further deteriorated. Then we come back to these communities with no services and wreak more havoc because we don't know what to do. All right, thank you. I appreciate your time. I hope I got my point across. Have a nice day.